and welcome back to my walkthrough to Crash Bandicoot 2 here on the Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy. In the last episode, we got our Platinum Relic on Pack Attack, and now we're here to try and get it on the final level, the final main level I should say, and that is Spaced Out. What a level this is, it's certainly in my opinion the hardest level in the game, and that makes it a fine level to actually have as our final, to finish off the main levels aside from the secret ones. And the Relic run is similar. We can sort of compare it to Pissing It Away, obviously, them being sort of parallels and that they both have the same theme. Pissing It Away, it's another level that's going to be entirely full of cycles, much like Pissing It Away. And so a lot of the trying to find the time is actually trying to work out where you can skip a cycle, where you can get ahead of this sort of fixed time, these fixed cycles, these fixed timings that ultimately you want to try and get ahead of and be as advantageous through as possible. And I guess the thing with the comparison to make is that in Pissing It Away, the level itself isn't too bad, but making all of the attempts to actually skip the cycles is actually quite difficult, and so the time itself is pretty tight, so you need to be on your toes in order to get through. Spaced Out is sort of the opposite in that the time is actually relatively generous here. You don't need to do too much in order to skip the cycles, but the level is much harder, and it's very easy to lose health throughout. So anyway, here we are, Spaced Out, so let's go through. Whenever you start, you're going to want to take a very brief pause, just because you want to have this platform at the start, you want to have it moving away from you. And the reason you want that is because then if you have it moving away from you, you can then make a clean slide jump onto the platform and then a clean slide jump from the platform onto the next boxes. And if you bounce off the top box, you'll naturally hit the second box, and you'll have an excellent start. If you don't land on the second box, if you don't land on the box on top of that platform, that's fine. You can still make the next section with some fast moves, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to go straight through this next section. You're going to go straight under the next piston, and then I tend to wait here and sort of just do the level as if you were normally going through it. You get sort of stuck into this sequence of enemies and pistons. It's actually quite difficult to go through fast. So you just go through there. And I guess the next real thing is to look at when we have this electric enemy and the platform with the lava going above it. You can choose to either try and make a rather risky slide spin jump. You probably need to change direction midway through it. Try and land on top of the platform and then jump across. But I managed to very reliably actually make this small jump where you just jump over the electric enemy and in between the lava platform. You sort of want to let it move as far as possible to the left before you attempt this jump, but the jump itself is not particularly difficult at all. Once more, we get stuck into another section here with the electric enemy. There's nothing we can do to speed this up, but then you hit the next section. We hit our Aku, and then we have the Nitro section. This Nitro section is probably, in my opinion, the hardest place, where you want to keep your Akus, but it's really easy to lose them here. Generally, I would suggest actually trying to kill most of the enemies here, just because I find that my sort of reactions are far more focused if I'm trying to kill an enemy than if I'm just trying to avoid the enemy. So therefore, I always try and kill all of these guys. I'm sure you can go faster if you don't, but I managed to hit a nice pattern where if I kill all the guys as I do, so essentially slide the first guy, jump on the second one, and then slide the third. What that meant was, after we kill the pusher, we then have this, the lava enemy, or the enemy with the hot pipes going around the middle, which you have to slide. He isn't actually just waiting for you as you jump over the nitros. He isn't blocking your path there, which is really helpful. You can just jump straight over and then slide him immediately, and then slide the next enemy, and you're through the hardest section of the level. So now we're going to slide jump immediately over another hot enemy, and then you're going to want to kill or avoid the electric enemy as we then make our way under the set of pistons here. We're going to hit our second Aku, which you want to do, and then, so when we hit these areas with the two pipes pointing down and a shrink ray in the middle, I try to slide spin these. The reason I do slide spins is because the spin will destroy the shrink ray particle, thankfully. But also it means that I can then do a clean slide out of the next bit, as opposed to crawling, which is the other option. You either slide and then you just start crawling. And it's really useful with this first one because that means I can do a slide spin initially, and then I can do a slide jump over the hot pipes. The next guy is pretty difficult to avoid, but if you can get around him, that's really, if you can avoid him, that's great. But again, we have our 2 Akus, this is where I usually use one of them up. We can slide spin jump up the piston if you don't get your timing right, and then once more you're free to slide spin into slide again to kill the next enemy. Normally you're in sync here in order to pass under the next piston, and hopefully you don't get hit by the next enemy, and then you can slide jump once more over the hot pipes. Hopefully you don't get hit by the electric enemy or the hot pipes, but if you do, again, you have your second Aku. These are where you're using up your Akus. So you grab the time boxes, hit the nitro thing with it, and then you just make a nice clean slide onto the next section, and kill the pusher. He shouldn't cause you any troubles. I haven't really had him cause me troubles, which is always lucky. I don't know, but the timing is there, so just try and be careful. And then the final section. Obviously, this is really, really annoying because it's really easy to die here. You can either choose to jump over when the piston is fully up in order to avoid the shrink ray. You can, in order to destroy the shrink ray particle, or if you have an Aku, which you may well do, there are cases where you can have an Aku all the way to here, then you can just get hit. But either way, it's really annoying to lose your run at this final part, and I have done that many times. So you have that, and also the other thing to be aware is do not forget that there is a small gap after the shrink ray. I had one run where I landed on top of the shrink ray, or I got hit by the shrink ray particle, just thought I'd just be able to run to the finish, and then fell down the pit just afterwards. So be aware, be careful, make your way through, and you should be able to get through this level. And that is it for the main series levels. This one, it's about the same difficulty I found as Pissing It Away. It took me quite a while, but it's great fun to run through. It feels really good to be dominating this level that used to sort of terrorise me when I used to, back when I was trying this, back when I was playing the game on the PS1 and was young and totally incompetent. But there we go. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll join me on the next, where we will be taking on Totally Bear.